And welcome back, Final Fantasy IV, part something or more than some other Final Fantasy games I've done. But now I'm heading towards the sealed cavern where supposedly the last underground crystal lies. So, yeah, I had a way to unseal the cave, so time to get in. And visually this place very much resembles the Dark Elf's cave in Overworld. But there are these ropes to climb. And of course enemy encounters to face. Yeah, that blood feast is quite... it doesn't do much damage. But it does make you basically lose your hit points very little, and that kind of status effect also can't be healed with Esuna or remedies either, so it is very annoying one. I guess they really wanted to show off the new technique. And there's a new enemy here, Trapdoor, enemy which opens can do a search attack, but generally it just stands there dying. But I remember right, it can summon enemies as well, but this time it didn't because it died. And of course this cave also contains lots of all kinds of nice little goodies, like a sword to Edge, although design-wise, Edge is very much of a, you could say, quite sloppy character. And a big horde of these. Let's see what kind of damage Massive Blast of Fire does to it. Yeah, they cause this little, just a tiny little bit of attrition to see what kind of, for you to go down, how you go down. So does Edge's attack wipe any of them out? Yeah, it's wiped quite a big chunk of damage to them. But the rest of them were so injured by the walloping that they got that they just keeled over and died. So, I would still think that there's just so much of these trapdoor monsters around here as well. Just open up the full complete, everybody attacks. Dose of ass kickery. And really alerts. Well, judging by the levels, I would say I am quite over leveled for this phase of the game. But this game is difficult enough to say that you don't have over leveled in it. And I'm just not cutting out these fights because I guess it might be in a sense good idea to show how much, or good or bad idea to show exactly how much of they exist. And of course, and it is possible, of course I could dead end. I could basically just take them down more efficiently if I would look to the best theories to see their enemy numbers and all that, enemy numbers and weaknesses and all that, special tricks, but I'm just brute force wailing at them until they heal over. Game favors that method, and another dead end. And if I remember right, it would be Final Fantasy VI, which would be the last entry, which would have chest monsters. Others may have monsters guarding chests, but after that they would be not. And I really like these rope things. They make this place look way more interesting. These kind of enemies, and of course most of enemies in this game generally are just palette swapped versions of other enemies. And of course usually with different stats and weaknesses and all that, but generally they are just groups of enemies groups of enemies which do different things, but very similarly. For example, the weakest version of something might use thunder spell, but then stronger version would use Sundaga, and well, maybe even more. So much of these trapdoors leading nowhere, or at least not much anywhere. And see this place, you see that it is quite a hassle to play all these stages fair and square. Like sword. I wonder, does it mean it emits light or that it's just light? Oh. Says he just got himself a lightsaber. But it ain't one. And I do personally think that the inclusion of those quite low-level white magics to Cecil is kind of pointless, because that ability becomes very much pointlessly obsolete once the game is basically, well, it gets obsolete very fast, and not even just because Rosa's ability to Rosa joining, but the fact that what he can heal is just so ludicrously little that it really doesn't matter much. You practically, if you want to make a good heal, you have to use either Cure 3 or maybe even Cure 4, aka Kuraga or Kuraja. I wonder, is that how you pronounce it? So much of these trapdoor monsters. And I'm just beating them down slowly but methodically, hoarding my resources. That is the habit that you very much gain in playing these kind of games, especially if you are not really good at them like I am. So when you just prefer brute forcing your way through them. But let's just make use of the tent. And of course, also make a save as well while I'm at it. But at least with this place, what its purpose is not impossible to guess what, or better say, it can be justified why a place would be infested with monsters and this kind of trapdoor things. They want to keep the crystal safe, and for that purpose they made place not that easy to navigate through. Let's just make Lydia wear the black cowl. Yeah, she is the offensive magic powerhouse. Kane's profile, correction. Well, Kane's jump is kind of interesting, but generally you could say that in this game they were, well, all characters are unique in their own way, but they generally, Cecil, Lydia and Rosa do follow specific niche, of course, and well, Cecil being the hero character generally has to be very good playable character. And Lydia is the magical attacker and Rosa is the healer. But Kane is something like is he meant to be the party tank or physical offensive powerhouse? Understandable, yeah, but and Edge, well, Edge character-wise is nothing bad in that sense. But gameplay-wise, he's really weird, especially knowing that the steal ability in this is just atrociously bad. But luckily in this version of the game, you usually can steal multiple times the same item, so trying to... and there are some items that you practically can only get by stealing. So it's a kind of mess. And of course Yang was a very much of a physical powerhouse attacker with also an area of effect attack, but he had the fact of huge amount of hit points and also very squishy defense. And for being front row meant that he was heavy maintenance, you had to heal him a lot. And that's kind of quite common, you could say, with the monk class in Final Fantasy. They can attack out, they can dish out a lot of powerful attack, but they don't really take that attack well. And let's just put the encounters off for a while as well. And prepare to face another trapdoor. And these, remember, enemies, if I remember right, would be a special way to trigger one specific enemy to enter if you are looking for the full bestiary. Just wait for it to summon or spit out a monster. Quite interesting. And in this room it's really fun because you really could not see exactly where you go, so you had to go make it with that rope beneath that. So it's a nice little detail in level design, make that kind of little path, hidden path. Gives you a strong sense of that the crystal is being held very deep down beneath the earth. Which is this place looks very much like a storage room, so also gives an idea that this place is not just a cave where the crystal is kept and they just sealed it, release the monsters inside, build all the traps, let monsters inside, and then just close the doors and let things go however they go. It's much more like the fact that they do regular maintenance checks and all that kind of things to make sure that the monster populations remain viable or maybe don't grow too much. But then again, it's an quite isolated location, so they could very much keep this place in quite strong state, and it wouldn't be much of a bad deal. And another save spot in the location, telling that this is quite a long dungeon hall to do. And in the original one, I assume that it might have felt even longer. And this room, by its architecture, very much tells that the end is near. Nicely symmetrical. And I often noticed that many Final Fantasy games do have this kind of symmetrical rooms right before boss encounter or anything like that. But it would be much less prominent in 2.5 degree era and 3.5 degree era, which is to say Final Fantasy 7 to 9. All three are great games, and I've done LP with 7, but this one follows its own kind of little design quirks. It's really strange that the Squaresoft really has not made, you could say, completely new, completely numbered 2D Final Fantasy games, but found the crystal with this commonly rising and falling classic Final Fantasy theme. I don't think that this kind of simplistic music ever goes boring. But I got the crystal. Crystal of Darkness, or Dark Crystal of whatever. So, that would just bugger off. That was easy. Yeah, a boss. Very prominent boss. the evil wall, which is very much, which follows very simple method. It's coming towards you. Do I have slow? No, I don't have slow. So time to just blast out biggest attack magics I can muster. Wake, 2 tons of damage. Yep, did quite good damage, and it counters with a magic attacks. And once it gets ghost, it starts to do instant kill attack, very fast pace to everybody. So it's a battle of attrition. Yeah, I got the slow down to it. King of the Deep, show how powerful you are. Did about the same level of same damage as. Yep, this boss is its offensive ability is all about just lumbering towards you and crushing you with its attack. Come on, I wanna take you down fast. Yeah, it stabbed it from the high, and it had a quite big strike because it comes from the down above. And yeah, these wall monsters would get their... well, they would have the signature ramming attack. Yay! So, I guess it's time to actually do the edit and just... actually, no. I can't walk. Let's try to make use of the item. I cannot leave this place by just teleporting out from there. If I remember right, the original version had some sort of glitch that once you would get the crystal, you could then just use the teleport magic to get out of the place and just completely not fight the evil wall at all. But I will cut away the returning trip because it will be boring. And that was it. Got through the place with very little fuss. So just doing the final walk out. Luckily just 2 enemies in this fight. So went down quite nicely. And I would also notice that Final Fantasy games do have differing mechanics in all of them, and this one just basically has a very much level-based abilities thing that you don't get any extra equipment or any... There's very little, you could say, extra abilities you would gain from equipment. It would be very rudimentary in that sort of sense. And there's also no any kind of job system that you could make to swing around. Although Final Fantasy 3, which had a job system I introduced, it was quite rudimentary, but plot happening. Arg. Arg. Once again, the mind control ability attacked. Yeah, the mind control hit again. But there's 8 crystals. 4 from the overworld, 4 from the underworld. Tower of Babel. And that's a nice little effect they added. So let's just go outside and save and see what's going on. It would be kind of wise to make sure that you could either re-establish mind control or keep it something like either re-establish it or something that you could turn it off for a long time and then turn it on, which is basically just the same thing as you're gonna re-establish the mind control ability. And Golbets has proven he has that. Well, can't go through inside the Hour of Battle, so time to just go inside the castle and see that, yep, I got it, and then it was right stolen back to me thanks to mind control abilities. So let's just ask Mr. Arthur King, Guilt King with a brain of attack. Yeah, I fell for the old trick in the book. And more plot twist. And Sid recovered. Falling off a bike is very easy, most likely, especially if you haven't done anything. So Sid's gonna start doing some work and upgrade the Falcon. I'm quite certain that that's a very hot and bitter discussion about tinkering equipment and all that. Well, I would assume that if Tela was in his 80s when he died, Sid should be something like with his that big bushy ZZ top beard he has. It might be something like in his 50s, and well, Edge is in his early 20s, Cecil might be in his late 20s, and so is Rosa might be a little bit older. That would how I feel. And Rydia at this phase, well, she's still something like maybe 10, but she has grown about into 20s in the Land of Summons. Yeah, he worked his ass off, literally, to build the airship again. So now he's stuck there. So let's just go and have a chat again with the king. That what he could know. Yeah, well, would this kind of underworld have wind? But now I have, well, a random encounter first, which goes down real quick. And let's just do a risky move of putting Edge to the front row and use the Falcon to just break my way through with that real dentist, something like a dentist's drill. Bash! Now, the overworld and the underworld are both completely open. Now I can go basically anywhere and do anything. And there's the Enterprise as well, which I can make use of and grab this. Grab the hovercraft, which I believe we used to do a little bit of because there's this extra. Well, there's the Mysidia. But there's a very kind of important location. It belongs to one specific but quite weird guy. So let's just drop in here and see what is this place. Adamant Grotto. Oh, and I have found a rat tail. And now with the adamantite, I can now bring this stuff to the famed blacksmith Kokkol in Underworld, which I'll be doing right away with the magic of editing. Now at the Underworld there's this little cab where I already went, so here's the smithy. So the master is just lying there in his bed sleeping. Let's smack him open with a thing to the head. Well, I have it. And now he got into the extreme action mood. Yeah, he got himself into manic state. Oh yeah, well that's good, but the sword ain't ready yet, so I'll have to go back to Overworld. It demands some editing magic again. At the Overworld there would be this place called Fabul Castle where Yang used to be, and which was a battlefield against Golbex's horde. But we knew that Yang was married and had and his wife was quite a fierce woman. So it would be time to go and tell her that her husband is not doing much of anything really good, is doing nothing, being good for nothing, just sleeping in Underworld. So was it in the West Tower here? I guess she does get worried. A frying pan. Oh yeah, is it the key item? Oh, Fry has cooked many loving meals. So let's just head back to the Sylvan Cave to go and smack him over the head with a frying pan. Hopefully it's hot. Oh, finding this layer of silk. And see. Yeah, yikes! You must go away. No, they are. Well, they don't. Well, I think wife's cooking will always wake up a husband. If wife cooks good and husband is good, so smack. And with this, I just gained myself I would say the only healing ability Rydia has, the Sylph Summon. It attacks enemy and heals your party, so it's basically one of the really potent ones. But there would still be some optional stuff to do before I can actually, well, before I could actually basically start to do it. Mind break. There's lots of optional. There's a little. Well, let's see. Has he made the sword already? Because if he have you done it? I don't know. Is that event-based thing, or meaning that you have to progress in the plot, or is it something that would just happen when you go for the, which would happen once a specific amount of time in game has actually happened. So, but well, I guess Yang has been woken up, so I would also say it might be time to go and, well, first I have to do some, go to the Mysidia and Fabul and return the lovely frying pan of love used to smack over a not lazy, but perhaps a bit henpecked husband. Yeah. Well, she is happy. But there would be time to also visit, because I have gotten the friendship or loyalty, however you wanna call it, of King of Summons, so it might be time to go and visit Baron Castle again and see what's the king up to. And now I am East Baron. Okay, so yes, I have returned. Odin, the Summon. What to say? No reason to hold back when you're offensive. Just go all in. For Odin has his lethal ability, Steel-Edged Sword or Zantetsuken. Instant kill to everybody once he goes off. That tends to be usually in these battles against Odin. He's gonna just... He will just wail at you until either you go down or he goes down. Do I survive? I didn't. Ah, damned. Well, have to try again. And with Odin has weakness to thunder attack, so you're gonna just lightning bolt him to death. Which is good, because if you don't, he will death you. And he is quite formidable summon. And as you could say that, well, efficiency of these instant death attacks in Final Fantasy games does vary a lot. Sometimes they are really useful, sometimes they are not. Usually I would say that Odin's usefulness is either extremely high or extremely low. And in some versions it might do something like this, that if Odin can't do basically try to get the instant kill attack off on enemies, it still might be doing still cause lots of damage to them. So it would not be completely useless. At least in Final Fantasy 7 it was like that. I don't remember in this one, because so many enemies in these old versions are immune to lots of different perils. So, but Mysidia, see what's going on in here. Yes, I know the prophecy. Yes, now I know what it means. They don't look like praying, they look much more of a chanting. But a big whirlpool opens. Something emerged from the water. And let's hope it is not a planet-destroying nuclear explosion. Lunar whale. It's awake. So it is not just overworld and underworld, it's also the moon. It's a moon. So there will be lots of things happening next episode. See ya.